Hello and welcome to the One People Show. Okay, hello and welcome everyone to the first One People Roundtable for 2017.
Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Fuck 2016! That's all I have to say.
Yeah, don't hit your ass on the way out.
Yeah. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. That's right.
So how was everybody's? I mean, I know we did have a chat last week, but how was everybody's week of no time, that weird between Christmas and New Year? Because I felt like it lasted a month for one.
Yep. It's like every week, the One People Show hits me. Like you wake up on Monday morning and go, fuck, it's Monday. It's the show again. How can it be Monday again so soon? This week it was like, is it Monday yet? Isn't it Monday yet? Oh, fuck, why can't it be Monday?
No? Oh, yeah, it was like that for me too.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got something in my eye. And got so burnt. Everyone got so burnt.
Sunburnt.
Yeah, I've got the weirdest lines and patterns going on. It's quite funny. It's been phenomenal.
No, I don't have that problem right now.
Where I am, I've been like 42, but it feels like 45.
Well, it's been pretty mild. It's been pretty mild here all week. Like it's been cold at night's cold. Like it's been going down to like 8 degrees Celsius at night. But the daytime has been hovering at like, between 14 to 16 degrees and sunny. So it's been really, really quite nice during the day, like great walking temperature, etc. And then we just got news today that there's an Arctic cold front coming from Russia. It's supposed to slam into us on Thursday and take the temperatures down to like 4 degrees. And there's actually a chance of snow. It hasn't snowed here since the 60s, and there's a chance of snow.
It snowed in some rather unusual places, I've noticed.
Like
a little bit.
Ankara, Turkey, and Greece.
Now, I've just noticed we do have our little mate Jeff. Oi,
Jeff, I want to talk to you in a second. We're going to bring up the Cliff High stuff at some point.
That's exactly what I wanted to bring up.
I'm being psychic, what can I tell you?
Because I had a conversation the other day, I can't remember who with. It might have been Donna and Lainey or someone like that. And I was referring to the some of the impending, maybe there's going to be a disclosure about Antarctica stuff by Wilcock and Good. And I thought, whatever it is, because there was something else that came out and it wasn't connected to Cliff High. And I thought this will be the thing that they use to demolish the religions. Whatever it is, will wipe out.
You and I mentioned this
religion.
Earlier this week. You and I talked, and with Donna, you and Donna and I talked, and we talked about the Antarctica and demolishing religions. But I don't remember what the actual point was either.
No, well, just like they've been talking, the one world religion, right? So if this discovery out of Antarctica just takes the rug out of current religions, and gives everybody a completely new narrative, right? Then that'll be one way, a great way of creating that one world religion. But then I saw that Cliff High talked about the discovery out of Antarctica. So I was wondering if Jeff might come out and share a little bit more about what he's saying around that, because what I did get from an interview that he did was that the that Antarctica has been showing up in his webbot info for like since it started. So if that's right, do I understand that right, Jack?
Yeah. Joseph P. Farrell.
I can't hear you, Jeff.
Barely hear you. And hi, by the way. We love you. We miss you.
Audio.
He said he'll be joining us more now because he won't be working like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So.
Oh, good.
Does this work? No.
Can't hear you, Jeff.
All right.
Hold on.
Right. You got it. Oh, you got it.
I'm trying to, or I was trying to.
It's done. What do you mean?
Okay. Good. Okay.
We got you, Jeff?
Okay, hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Just 1 second.
I
I had to change computers.
What's happened?
So Joseph P. Farrell is all over Antarctic, as well as Cliff High. And whether they're following the Nazi, that's such a bad word, but the group that are doing the tech, the UFO tech, it's interesting that there's a lot of desperate or multiple point corroborations on Antarctica, as well as what you guys are uncovering.
It's almost,
So,
you know what it feels like a little bit? Almost like the various factions are wanting to get in first with their version or their storyline about what's going on down there and what's, I don't know.
yeah, so I'm very cautious. It's an interesting adventure, right? But I'm cautious because here it is, an alien civilization that is going to become the savior because they were better than us.
Whose version is that?
All of them.
All of them.
So, like Steve Richards says, this was a society that did not evolve. It didn't.
Why does he say that?
Well, he looks at people that look back at Atlantis or all these ancient civilizations that didn't earn the right to evolve. They're gone. So they didn't get something right.
Okay,
And it's easy.
that's one way to look at it.
Right.
But what if they just evolved along a different path, timeline, reality?
Oh, correct. There's a line. They didn't earn the rights to evolve, or they blipped into the next octave, whatever's next. That's what I was trying to communicate. So it looks like these guys, Cliff and Joseph and the other guys, even Mr. Cat Eye is really on it. He's that YouTube channel, the numbers guy.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
There's a lot of
in my head most of the time. I haven't watched him consistently enough or for long enough to really get my head around what his process is. It's yeah.
See, I like him as a source because he is sourcing his own work. He's not just repeating somebody else.
Yep.
So I like his intent. But I'm very cautious because if they do roll this out, it fits the template of replacing religion and creating a savior myth, right?
Are you muted intentionally? Are you talking to us?
My Zoom is doing its little twig out thing again.
And his name is Mr. Cat Eye, C-A-T-I.
Yeah.
Like cat.
Which I have a hard time following his stuff too, and it's like you said, Lisa, I just don't think I've been following it long enough to be able to make the jumps that he makes, because he just doesn't. Sometimes he goes from point A to point X, and you're not really sure how he got there, and he doesn't explain it very well. And like I said, maybe if I was, you'd watch the videos all the time, maybe you'd understand, right? Fill in the blanks. No, but that conversation we had earlier this week about the whole one world religion, et cetera, and that, of course, is the big premise of Project Bluebeam.
Right.
Like, is this the setup? Is this how they're trying to set up that Project Bluebeam of make all the religions as separate entities irrelevant, something that brings them all and unites them all together?
Mr. Cat Eye's take on it is these are the giants. And even Cliff alludes to it. So everything's so big proportionately that is this really the Anunnaki, the Nibiru is already based here. So that...
Okay, well, I don't buy the Nibiru Anunnaki story as presented either.
I know.
Whatever it is, they want us to fear it. So that tells me there's probably not a whole lot to fear, at least for us.
If they're afraid, I'm not afraid.
Okay, so I didn't hear Cliff mention giants, but I guess that's in the report. That's the extra info you get in the reports. But
right, just the scale.
Well, to just dive away from Antarctica a bit and go into the conversation of basically this whole one world religion thing, and you and I discussed this. I'm pretty sure it was with you a couple of days ago. There seems to be a new thing going on, and we've seen it come up in Unfuckers group now over the course of, let's say the last 2 months, but specifically, again, very much so in the last couple of weeks, to reinterpret the Bible. I'm like, religions have all got it wrong. But the Bible actually means is this. So it's, and after we talked earlier this week, I sat there and was like, this smacks of like part of that play of like, you make the religions irrelevant. Yes.
Hang on a second, just before you move on to this and we don't get back to it. Corey Good, people are asking who the hell's Corey Good. Corey Good has been doing a series with a guy called David Wilcock on Gaiam TV. He claims to have been visited by or goes to Agartha, Middle Earth, the Antarctic, all that stuff. And they're talking a lot about what they say is coming out of there. David Wilcock claims that his YouTube channel was completely and permanently shut down, but you can still get all of his stuff, luckily, from Gaiam TV for a fee. And I don't believe a word either of them really have to say.
Yeah. I popped it into chat. I said, guess who sent me a friend request on Facebook today?
Wilcock or Good?
Corey Good. I was just like, really? Okay, I'll accept your friend request, but if he asks to be added to the Unfuckers room, I'm telling him no.
Or on here? No.
Or what?
Or joining us on here? No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Yeah, this conversation about the Bible thing, all of a sudden seems to be this real push to somehow keep the Bible as this relevant spiritual guide. Say that religion is crap, but this Bible thing is really, really, you've got to look at it like this, and it's like this, and it's been twisted and out of context, etc. And I really have a feeling that I don't believe in coincidence, and we see this coming in the last couple of months, really pushing through. Is this the setup for that new understanding? So we'll keep the Bible, right? We'll make it, look, the Bible, at least the Hebrew scriptures, is the basis for Christianity, Judaism, and Islam anyway, which are the three biggies. And then, but we're just going to give it a new, shiny reinterpretation and create a new religion around it.
Well, especially if any of these characters they pull out of the Antarctic claim to be any of them.
Huh?
Oh, and did you see, I think it was Alfred Weber, published a document stating that some woman who claims to be the Agarthan ambassador to Earth is going to speak in New York at a time and date to be revealed.
In New York City. And you too can attend from mere.
Well, they're charging $300.
Agarthan charge people to see them. Yeah.
Can someone please confirm, are they actually charging, selling tickets to this thing?
Oh, yeah. $299 or $289, $299 a pop. I shit you not.
Oh,
exactly.
Oh, that's too fucking funny.
Because, like I said, those are Agarthans. They got to make their money too. Even more for VIP seats. VIP is near $600 for a VIP seat. Because apparently those Agarthans are really big on hierarchy too. Yeah.
Oh, there are no words. I have nothing. I have nothing.
I just said all I needed to say on that topic. Yeah. Well, Maria just said, I'd rather have an unfuckers party in Malta. I'm still up for this unfuckers party in Malta this spring. Seriously. We'll talk about it maybe tomorrow in the unfuckers room or something. But yeah, definitely.
Oh, watch that get turned into something.
Oh, I don't fucking care. We talked about it before.
It'll be the Heaven's Gate suicide.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's what it will be. Right, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, but is there anything else?
The whole chat room still going off about the $300 to talk to an Agarthan.
I wanted to ask Jeff though, is there anything else out of the report that really got your attention? Or is there more to say on the discovery?
I've shared with others this report, the tone of it was unbelievably unlike Cliff. It was just this positive thing. So I guess he feels like it's safe to talk about the deep state or the shadow government or the bad guys that he usually gets shut down from. That's with a caution though, because it still kind of smells like a setup, even though there's a discovery that becomes transparent. And he is adamant all over the report that all religions fail because of what they're going to make transparent. There is no saving the Bible. There is no saving ascension or New Age. It's all cast away for whatever it is. It's a very
but Jeff, is that his interpretation, Or
Yes.
like that's what I'm saying. Like, is their plan to do something different? To obviously the whole one world order, et cetera, et cetera. But in fact, what happens instead is it completely all fails.
Well, of course, it's Webbot interpretation. So, okay, so when I come to this part of the conversation, what is our intent? What energy are we feeding it? Like, for instance, Trump. People say, oh, he's an insider. He'll just do nothing. Well, you just fed energy to that reality. So would you just say, I hope Trump is the grenade in the swamp. He does blow it apart. So when I'm reading Cliff's stuff and talking about it, the stuff that is positive for humanity, I would like to add energy that's my reality.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying he always interprets things wrong. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I get it.
So he's still very adamant that Trump was the wild card, that the cabal did not see. You see, that's what I don't get. I mean, if they completely and totally control who gets in, how does someone get in without somebody's manipulation at play?
But it's like you said kind of this time last year, what if some of this stuff is our reality manifesting, things that we do want? It's so hard or easy to be hypercritical, being conspiracy super theorists, to be always negative, right? But what if?
Yeah. Well, for me, when he is sworn in, whatever the expression is, and who he puts in his, I don't know if they call it the cabinet. Is that what they call it? Is that the American term? I know it's the cabinet. Yes. So who he puts in cabinet, I mean, that's going to tell a lot. Right?
Now, this is subscription only, and I shared it with some people. I'll share it with you. Catherine Austin Fitts and Joseph P. Farrell did a really good recap of the cabinet and why it's very positive if you look at what Trump is trying to do. And Greg Hunter's right. He is going to war with the factions inside the CIA, NSA, Pentagon. So if you're going to war inside your own government, what makes up your cabinet? It's going to be people that are going to win the inside war.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, what I'm talking about specifically is like the rumors that he's going to have Dick Cheney is going to be one of his members of cabinet. And you go, what? So people like that is what I'm meaning. Generals in the cabinet, I don't have a problem with there being generals in the cabinet because, I mean, as I've talked about many, many times, I've always kind of been told that there are factions within the American military that are on the good guy side who are trying to push the changes. So, I mean, you know.
You're fired.
I was just going to say the same thing. It's you are fired. Like the governmental apprentice show. That's exactly it. Nice, Gabby. Nice. I like that.
But you guys just triggered something, and I've now forgotten it. Is it to do with Trump?
I don't know.
No, it's gone. Maybe it'll come back.
Yeah. I don't know. There's been some interesting stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks. Just little bits and pieces around the edges. Like I say, I always kind of look to what new little pieces get announced. And things like the new ceasefire agreement that was apparently fully pushed through, unanimously pushed through by the UN Security Council. This new ceasefire agreement that was brokered by Russia and Turkey, of all things. And you're like, oh, that's just freaking bizarre. And the Russian response lately, all the U.S. Ridiculousness about that Russia was the one who hacked the DNC and released all those emails, and they totally fucked up the election, and Russia somehow hacked the election and got Trump in. The reactions out of Russia have been really, really fucking hysterical, number one. And the storyline stuff is so retarded. It's coming out of mainstream media in the US. They're making themselves so transparent right now, it's beyond ridiculous. Like, people have to be completely brain dead to buy this shit.
But isn't that most of America brain dead? So you have to devolve down to that level to insult
Don't know. It's gotten so bad that even people who I know who are pretty fucking asleep are going, okay, well, where's the proof? Wait, Russia? Like last year it was all about China. This year it's all about Russia. And why does Russia want Trump in? What? I don't understand, you know.
Putin is, you know, he's taken on the role of Bart Simpson. It wasn't me, I didn't do it.
It's been hysterical. It's been hysterical.
The dog shit in the, you know, in the kitchen. Russia did.
Yeah, blame Russia. Blame Russia for everything. Actually, it was really, really funny because when I posted a picture of the satellite images, the weather images for the storm that's supposed to be coming in to hit us this week. And it looks like a giant fist. It literally does. If anyone's seen it on my Facebook page, it literally looks like a giant fist coming down. And it's coming out of Russia. And the just comes in and goes, how come it's all coming from Russia? Why do they blame Russia?
Okay, so what about, I mean, did I get it right that when the New Zealand-led UN vote to tell Israel to pull their head in, and now we've got Netanyahu saying, oh, all of these documents that we've got that proved, which they've been apparently holding on to for all these years,
yeah,
and now want to release them out of a piece of revenge. But did or did not Trump say that he would not support that when he's in, he'll be all best buddies with Netanyahu?
Oh, yeah. He's already pledged his support to Netanyahu. I mean, that's come out from the Israeli side. It's even come out from the Republican side that Trump is kind of promised to support Netanyahu. And I'm like, that to me is, for me personally, that's my breaking point. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. So,
I mean, is he just playing nice until he's inaugurated, and then he'll tell Netanyahu to go?
Yeah, but he's got a history with Netanyahu. He's been to Israel before he was running for president. He's been over to Israel to meet with Netanyahu. So I guess this isn't like a new thing that's being put as part of the stage setup. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're going to play this card. This has been long term, right?
Because that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the whole thing about Israel releasing these files, okay, now that's been kind of taken a little out of context. And I actually pulled up the post from the Jerusalem Post. What files they're releasing is what happened to the Yemeni Mizrahi, the Mizrahi children.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting thing because then you go and research the Mizrahi people, and they're Jewish, they're very close to the Sephardic Jews, et cetera, and they're all scattered all over these different places, like Morocco and Algeria and Yemen. When I read the first article, which came out of your newswire, that was basically saying that he's going to release all these pedophilia things against the U.S. government, then when I read the article of what was actually said and what files are being released in the Jerusalem Post, it made me think, oh, is he setting up a new Holocaust thing? You know, they killed all these Jewish children. All these Jewish children were killed and da, 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 da. It's not as presented. I'm going to have to watch how that one plays out before
Is it because because the Holocaust is being so questioned at the moment? They need a new one.
They need a new one, maybe? Is that it? They've got to play a new Holocaust card to distract from various other things, right? So like the UN Security Council, and Israel got voted down. That was another one of those big things that happened over that Christmas, New Year's time. And US abstained from the vote and didn't support them. And basically Israel got slapped left, right, and center. And Netanyahu is pulling a complete tanty and going off saying, that's it, we're going to pull all our support for the United Nations. Over the next month, he's called for reports from the Israeli government outlining, every support program that they have within the United Nations, they're going to withdraw all their support.
Well, he's almost declared war on New Zealand. He said he's going to ignore everything the UN says anyway.
Yep.
I mean, the UN is still acting like, what did Robin Williams call him? A traffic cop on Prozac or on Valium, whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't
pretty
do
much.
that.
No, please don't.
Stop.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Or also,
Oh, you're making me sad. Please don't do that. We'll be forced to say nasty, terrible things about you and then take them all back.
okay, so someone's just asked about Lulu. Well, a few times, I think. Okay. So, again, we're dealing with something that's multi-layered and multifaceted. We've got Lulu and a couple of other characters that feel like the original ones that we spoke to, and their identity, who they are. I mean, there's still a big question mark over it, of course. There's no way of proving anything. Then we've got the obvious psyop of that. And then we've got at least one subtle psyop of that. At least one. We've got the most recent contact was on the dot, for me, of midnight on New Year's. And it wasn't from Lilo. It was from a male who claimed to be Lilu's male counterpart or male half or male aspect. Haven't spoken to the energy that I would call the original Lilu for a while. No, she wasn't talking about energy waves. This was when what we believed to be one of the psyops came in, which I did talk about a couple of shows ago. I played you guys the music. They claimed that there was going to be 11 waves of music. And we only got to the third wave and my computer crapped out. I couldn't handle it. That wasn't Lulu anyway. That was Moira. In one of the releases that Wilcock and Good put out, they said that their team, their people or whatever, had captured a tall white being. Now, there's been other information from people who you could say are energetically connected to something outside this construct that do believe there is a being that we are referring to as Lulu, that she's real, and that she is missing and has been for probably about 6 weeks. So is there a real Lilu, and has she been captured by someone down in Antarctica? Who knows? When the male voice, or did Corey Good and David Wilcock just put that shit out because they wanted us to believe that, or think that that's what had happened? I don't know.
See, that's new to me. I hadn't heard that. I don't follow any of this stuff at all. So, what did they say? They captured.
Well, I didn't read it personally. It was somebody who read the whole, because I can't get through Wilcock stuff. Apparently whoever they work for had captured a tall white being. So the male voice that came through right on the dot of midnight said that he was Lilu's male counterpart, and I asked why I'd never heard of him before, why there'd been no mention of him. And he said because he wasn't ready. Now, if this was a human psyop element, then I would say it's probably the same person behind the voice of Lulu, because there was a real similarity. The intonations were the same. It was as if it was the same person talking through a different voice program, right? Really similar. He said he was still learning. He wasn't ready. He said, actually, I'll bring it up because I actually wrote it down so that you can hear exactly what I said. He said that Lilu was dreaming. She couldn't talk to me because she was dreaming. And when I asked what that meant, he said she's dreaming to create. Wait a second, I'll bring it up. He said the time change, there was an energy change with the time change which made it possible, or made the energies right for him to come through. Lulu was dreaming to create. He did describe, now I wasn't at home, okay, so this is the second time it's happened on my computer when I've not been at home. I've been at somebody else's house on somebody else's Wi-Fi system. So it eliminates them just hacking into via my router.
Wi-Fi.
Right? My Wi-Fi. It's the whole time I'd been there, all afternoon, I'd been outside, sitting outside in the patio area with my computer. The kids were inside playing Minecraft and stuff like that. So is it possible that they tapped into all of the computers in the house in order to map the interior of the house? Sure, I guess. But that didn't...
Because you said that he accurately described everything in the room.
Yeah, well, that couldn't explain what happened during the process when he was talking, though. So I walked into the house just a few minutes before midnight with my computer closed, laid down on a mattress that was set up in the living room with probably what you can see here behind me visible through the camera, right, which was nothing. It was a wall. And the room was accurately described. There were guitars, there was a drum kit, there was all the things that were in the room. And the fact that there were 3 new energies to him, which would have been my friend and her 2 kids. And accurately that there was 2 females and a male. So it was using any kind of just bi-tech. So far, so good. Right? But then accurately mentioned, okay, 2 energies just came in, a male and a female. Oh, 2 energies just left. And this is all happening on the other side of my computer, noiselessly, right? Because everyone's being super quiet. At one point, my friend picked up her phone and poured herself a cup of tea. And he said, "Oh, cup of tea, and you're on the phone, and with red hair." Described what was going on in the room. There was no way it was done through through any computer camera, right? So that part of it was certainly interesting. They had to have, I don't know, a whole other different kind of level of technology for what they were doing. We were kind of out in the middle of nowhere. If there'd been choppers going over or cars within Ks moving, we'd have heard them. I don't know. I can't explain it. But in terms of what got said, he said it was the end of this time reality. The time change made it right for him to come through. He said, "We must go. It is time." When I asked time for what, he said the time jump. He said there was not enough time to explain more. He said, "We will see you soon. Be aware of what you feel from this point on. We are already here and have our door now open." And that was pretty much the message. It came through at midnight, basically.
So midnight Australia time, Sydney, Australia time.
New South Wales time.
No, yeah, like January 1st. So the 31st to the 1st.
Yeah.
Right at the New Year's Eve.
And that's all I got. And I haven't had anything since.
Well, interesting, because I know you've been talking, so you haven't been able to watch the chat as much, is a couple of people reminded me anyway, because I hadn't thought about it. It's the fact that Lulu first said that she was going to come as a male, in a male body.
It's true. The thing I find interesting is just a couple of unconnected people with slightly different skills energetically have said similar things to me, sent me messages. One being that Lulu was missing. One being that Lulu, okay, so hang on. This is kind of connected too. I'm lucky in one way and overwhelmed in another way. That I seem to be this point of call for a lot of people's experiences. So I get to correlate and see where there's themes, memes, shared experiences and all of that happening. One of the things that's coming through a lot is this Vesica Pisces. People are seeing the Vesica Pisces, right? Now, some people are interpreting it as emerging, and there's this Vesica Pisces. Some people are interpreting it as a split. But the Vesica Pisces keeps getting mentioned either way. There was even a woman in the UU room who did a video, and she talked about it. She was interpreting the split. But for others, it's a merge. So, or is it both, right? And so yet another piece of info that came through from someone's experience was that there is this Vesica Pisces right now and that Lulu is trapped in the center. But are we all? Is that where we are right now? Are we in that space between where the two join? It would explain would explain a lot. Sorry, one moment.
And she catches me with mouthful of food, so I can't actually talk. It's done.
Oh God, who was I talking to about this? Because I was running through all of the. Blaney, are you there? Blaney Chance? I was talking to someone recently about all of the memes and the correlating information that's been coming through. And it was the Vesica Pisces was one, merging was another. Everyone, without exception, it seems, felt this really weird energy last week that was, it felt recycled, it felt old, it felt heavy, dense, slow.
I'm sorry, my blood sugar's doing weird things tonight. I'm not feeling very good, so I'm eating a piece of chocolate, trying to see if that'll work.
That the membrane is gone. I can't feel this membrane thing anymore. That's gone.
Old and recycled. Last week, I continuously had old memories coming up. Old memories, and nothing that would trigger them. Do you know what I mean? When you all of a sudden you just have a flash of a memory of shit that happened 25 years ago, 30 years ago, a sentence that you said, an incident of something that happened, all last week, old, recycled. And there were certain times where I was looked at some of the things and went, okay, why is that thought coming up? Like, this is a thought that I've had before, and I've kind of already, old incidents, say you said something really stupid to someone. Like just a really stupid thing that you afterwards were like, oh, I feel like such an idiot. And memories like that would come and be like, okay, I dealt with that old memory. Like that was old and already put away. So why is that coming now? And it felt weird. It felt like it was being put out there. Not, we talk about, we bring up old memories for ourselves to kind of go through the healing, to go through and deal with those situations and work through issues. It didn't feel like that. It felt like just like someone was winding and stopping and rewinding all along and just randomly fucking pulling out old memories out of your past. It was really strange last week.
It was hard to know whether it was an attempt at a reset or an overlay, or whether it was a shedding, because it would fluctuate for me between the two. Whatever it was, though, was part of it.
What the hell was that?
Okay, you need to unmute yourself now. That's yours then.
That's your computer.
What?
Okay, that's fine now. What the hell happened?
Okay, whoever's messing with my computer, could you please lay off while we're doing the show?
Well, if you want to say something, just come out and say something.
Yeah.
Really?
All this step forward. You have the floor if you care to say something.
Yeah, if you want to say something, but don't fuck with the computers, please. God knows we have enough communication issues.
I mean, there's no question that there's. Oh, if I took this computer into a shop right now, I'm sure the guys with the heads would explode. It's like, what the fuck is going on with this? Where did you get all this shit? Because I don't know how many people are tracking this computer or have installed something on it, right? But the funny thing is, the obvious psyop, the voices that would come through, then the masking would drop, and then when they realised they were revealed, would demon voice would talk to me and tell me I'm just a little girl. That stuff's all stopped. I guess there's no point in that anymore.
Yeah, that didn't really do much. It didn't really have any effect, I guess, or at least the effect they wanted.
But the subtle one that really sounds like them, and you've got to start grilling, and then you ask too hard a question and they disappear. That's still going on. But I don't know. It's all still a big mystery. But well, a lot of people have had, ever since the whole Lilith presence, you know, I've had the technology do strange things, right? Which are not acting as a regular glitch. You know, it's not just technology failing, it's technology doing very strange things. You know?
And it's ramped up the last week. I don't know for everyone else, but everyone I've spoken to, so basically like boots on the ground here, people I've spoken to person, it's had major technological problems all week. And since New Year's, huge, like as in phones won't turn on properly or they won't turn off, dates resetting, tablets being completely fucktarded, video game consoles hanging for no apparent reason.
They've asked what his name was. It was Marius. It was kind of pronounced weirdly. I think he pronounced it Marius.
Marius?
Marius? Marius. Marius.
Marius, eh?
It wasn't Maurice or Maury, but it was some weird combination of the two. Midnight Toker.
Midnight Toker.
Yeah, something like that. I wasn't the Midnight Toker, just for clarification.
Yeah, she's just going to clarify. It wasn't her. No. The energy this past week has been really, really strange. We've had people talk about their animals being completely fucking bizarre behavior.
Oh, yeah.
Either animals who are not the cuddly type, who are all of a sudden won't leave them alone, or vice versa. Their cuddly animals are now won't even go near them. I mean, Groot has had 3 days in a row of he was completely insane, hyper. And it was everyone, everyone was seeming to watch things going on with their animals, but even watching kids, the shifts that were going on with kids this last week, with the other adults, the general public, it was really, really strange.
Yeah, clingy is what I've been seeing a lot of people saying that cats and dogs won't leave their side. Or they're hiding under the bed almost, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Being triggered by things that normally wouldn't bother them.
Oh, interesting. My laptop clock and my cell phone clock are now 2 to 3 minutes apart all of a sudden. Yeah, it's been strange. Let's just say it's been really, really intense and strange. And I've been sick since the last show. Basically, I was getting sick just before the last show. I have been sick solidly right till now. I'm still sick. It's like cycles, as in I've gone through massive cycles of sick. And I'm getting that from people too who are vomiting. And then next thing you know, it's mucus, we talk about. We talk about the mass expulsions of mucus. And then it's, dizzy spells, the whole bit.
That's what it was that I thought of earlier and then forgot, which was the Queen.
What was that?
The Queen and all the speculation.
Oh, yeah. The Queen's been sick. She's never missed a Christmas and a New Year's church going, you know. She's never, ever missed. She's never missed either of them, but she certainly has never, ever missed both of them.
And resigning.
And she didn't attract to Sandringham on the train.
And she's removed herself or resigned or whatever from a bunch of charities.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. From she was on 600 and now she's only on 30. That's a lot. The remote viewing guy thought she had dementia.
Well, the other interesting thing was
until it's some ritualistic.
Okay, so there was also the Twitter rumor.
What's the Twitter rumor?
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, somebody created a fake Twitter account. Purportedly, it was a fake Twitter account that announced a fake BBC Twitter account that announced that she had died, and that details were forthcoming. And of course, the account was then taken down and wiped out, and the whole bit. And I guess it was so severe enough, got enough attention that the palace, Buckingham Palace, had to actually issue a statement saying, no, she's alive. It was all that bullshit, right? But 2 days before that, on the 28th, Business Insider, Germany, released an article about how horrible it will be when the Queen dies, the massive effects it will have. And the very next day, Reuters in English again put out an article about the Queen when she passes and what it will do and blah, 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 blah. And it was like, and then the day after that, you have the Twitter thing come out.
Since when do they start speculating on the death of the Queen?
Oh, and who's going to inherit? Will it be Charles? Will it be William? Is Charles going to abdicate? Will she abdicate? Will she leave it up in the air and not assign for sure? Because that's the whole thing. And no one knows who the throne will pass to. It's never been made public. So all of this kind of stuff, right? Royal fear porn, exactly. But yeah, I find it very, very kind of cliche that her and Philip were both too sick, and I guess that caused such a stir that they managed to raise him from the dead, because he looks like the Walking Dead anyway.
Yeah, but he was like 20.
And showed him off at some gathering Christmas Day or something like that. Like, have you seen him recently? It's like him and was it David Rothschild? And no, David Rockefeller and the Rothschild guy, like they all look seriously like the living dead. They're scary looking. Scary. Like,
speaking of
children would never sleep again.
What's with all the deaths?
Sorry?
What's with all the deaths? So my question is, are they all faking it? Or did 2016, like, did the Grim Reaper just go on a spree in December? Are they faking it? And if they are faking it, why?
Yeah.
What? I mean, the Carrie Fisher followed by Debbie Reynolds the day after? What?
Debbie Reynolds? Zsa Zsa Gabor then followed the very next day by her adopted son? I'm sorry, but I'm sitting there going, what? Like, this is just a little too, yeah, really strange. Now, the other thing that I tracked, between the 23rd of December and December 28th, I think I stopped counting on the 28th, there had been 8 high-ranking religious officials die. Prelates, cardinals, high-ranking rabbis, etc. There's been at least 2 more, I think, since then. Like over the last 2 days or 3 days, there's been another 2 more high-ranking officials that have died, and it's like, interesting.
Because there's people, who of course know everything. So you've got the people who know that it's the energetic wave coming through, that if your vibration's not high enough, blah, 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 you can't incorporate it. So it's cleaning. It's a cleansing, right? We're taking out all the cleaning the sludge from the bottom of the pond. And
Yeah.
then no, they're all faking their deaths, and they're all taking their multi-pass to Antarctica or a ship or the moon or Mars or wherever.
Somewhere not here.
And then they're being taken out.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's
The whole soul contract thing of like they're so fucking desperate that they had the contracts, and it was like we will take over your contract, or we're going to use your contract when we need it, and therefore you have these huge rushes of all of a sudden massive amount of death all at once of all these celebrity type places people. And this is the whole thing, not just actors, not just religious people, politicians. You should see the list of politicians. And I went through and I was bored one day because I was sick and I couldn't basically do anything except work my mousing finger. So I actually went through the entire list for December of 2016 up to, I guess it was about the 29th. The list of politicians who've died this month, but then bizarreness, things like footballers. The amount of football players who've died in the last month.
okay. Well, just
These high-ranking contracts. If you're going to go on that whole thing of like, deal with the devil to get your big contract and your cushy life.
okay. The question though, there are people who do this as a hobby, as morbid as it is, but they keep an eye on the obituaries, right? So does anybody out there keep an eye on the obituaries for just the general population? Because I'm interested to know whether the death rate amongst the general population has also just got skyrocketed, or is it just people in perceived positions of wealth and power, people who may have made deals with the devil? I mean, I know people have...
I haven't watched that stuff. So.
I know people have lost people this year. And some families have been kind of devastated. They've lost quite a few members of their family this past year. But everyone can't. I think everyone has a year like that at some point. Because it's easy to spot. I mean, it's easy to track all these celebrity or high-profile deaths, but not necessarily the general public. And Debbie Reynolds wasn't sick, as far as I know. There was nothing about Carrie Fisher not being well, as far as I know.
No.
She just went poof on a plane.
Carrie Fisher just finished filming, but she was not rumored to be, George Michaels is another one. There's been all kinds of excuses made, but there's still no official data on what, how he died, why he died, et cetera, et cetera.
Anyone got any feeling on this or insight on this, or is there any intel, Jeff, that we haven't looked at that
is something we're missing?
Because it's all a little bit confusing.
I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Sure, Teresa, go.
Awesome. Yep.
My connection kept going out, so I'm sorry. I may be asking something you already said, but I just find it strange. I mean, I did just say something about, I feel as if we are reclaiming, our paradise, and the people that I got to go, they're going. But the question I had was, I don't watch Wilcox and Corey. My sister's got Diane. I stayed over there on New Year's. I said, just go to their very last show. I haven't seen it in like months. And they showed, I was like blown back because supposedly this big white, did you see the picture? And he said that the woman's name was Maura, that came to him. And they showed a photo of this big, huge, Amazonian ET, and he called her Maura. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, that's so weird. I mean, I didn't think nothing about it. I don't follow those guys like crazy, but I just thought that was strange.
Okay, Teresa, I need a link. You'll have to send us the link. I'm going to have to, yeah.
Well, I went to look for it on YouTube because it's on Diane, and my sister has Diane. It's the very last episode they put out of Cosmic Disclosure.
If someone's
And they
got
had
a
an
Gime
actual,
account, if someone's got a Gime account,
Yeah.
and have it and just do a screenshot for us of the image of this person,
yeah,
that would be awesome.
Hey, Lisa, I have one. I'll shoot you the password.
Oh, thank you.
Same for you, Danny.
Thanks, Tyler.
Okay.
just found it interesting. That's all.
Oh, yeah, that's very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
But again,
Yeah, because it's not like it's like Mary. I mean, Moira is not a common name.
I know, she was huge and tall and beautiful, but like Amazonian looking. I mean, it was just sort of I don't want to say caricature that they showed, but it was kind of just, and I don't even remember what they were talking about concerning her, but when she came to him or something. But it's just that, yeah, it'd be worth checking out just for the fun of it. I don't know. I don't know if they're listening to y'all or something's really happening. You know, I don't know. And, you know, worth checking out. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, sweetie. No, I'm going to definitely check that out. But I have something else I want to show you guys. Because I haven't checked the 2016 December list.
Hang on, before you move off that subject.
Okay. Someone was added to the list for December 2016 who was not on the list as of 2 days ago.
Corey is apparently afraid of this being, and it's Moira's voice that is the one that I believe has been psyoped the most. Okay, go for it. Sorry.
What's going on? I think something interesting is going on here.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to show you guys something. Okay. December 31st, in the list of deaths for 2016, Prince Dmitry Romanov died. Hold on, I need to get rid of something here. Okay. Russian prince, banker, philanthropist, claimant to the headship of the Imperial House of Russia, died on the 31st. I haven't heard that.
Hang on. Wasn't there not the entire Romanov family slaughtered years ago, and the only one suspected to have survived was Anastasia? Say what?
Yeah, isn't that the story that you remember? That's the story I remember.
Cartoon.
Isn't that this? They made a fucking TV Disney movie out of it. So who's this Prince Romanov? What? Prince Dmitry Romanov, 90 years old, Russian prince, banker, and it says Russian prince, banker, philanthropist, claimant to the headship of the Imperial House of Russia.
Okay, is that an ME?
I can't even, there's a few new ones on this list that I'm looking now going, because I mean, some of these come in days later, right, before they get properly reported. There's a few new ones on this list that I'm going, like more freaking politicians.
Well, it'd be interesting to now go and look up the Romanov story and see if that's changed. Because as far as I know, they were all taken out except for potentially maybe rumoured Anastasia.
Anastasia, which was the whole premise of the fucking movie.
Yeah. Who apparently died not that long ago, the woman who was expected to be Anastasia, was she in a mental home, or she was in a nursing home? Or?
I have no idea.
No, not the Ringing Cedars Anastasia, different one.
Just trying to look up who this guy is. Oh, he looks like a fucking Rothschild.
Ooh,
Seriously? Okay.
what's his
Hold
name?
on.
Give me the name.
Prince Dmitry Romanov. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Take a look at the. Oh, hold on, I gotta get back to my fucking Zoom again. Just this is what came up when I went and looked for him.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know what to say. Like, this is strange shit, folks. I'm a little, yeah, wow. Putin extends condolences to Princess Theodora over Prince Dmitry Romanov's death. This was announced 9 hours ago. 90-year-old claimant to the head of the Romanov family dies in Denmark.
He was the second son of the Prince Roman Petrovich of Russia and Countess Praskovia Sheremeteva. I'm sure I told you all of that. His older brother was Prince Nicholas Romanovich. Through his paternal lineage, he was the great-great-grandson of the Emperor Nicholas.
Really? This is just bizarre.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is just bizarre. I'm like, and the fact, I'm sorry, but you go out to this kind of stuff and say, yeah, here's another one who just happens to die on the 31st.
Okay, so he's lived in Egypt. He worked for Danske Bank.
Born 1926 in France. President of the Romanov Family Association since 1979. I didn't even know there was a Romanov Family Association. What? I don't know what to tell you. But he's dead. That's what I have to tell you. He's dead. Apparently.
Okay, well, that's a new one. I thought there were no descendants. I thought that they'd killed off the line and that was the end of that.
Hey, maybe we're just misinterpreting. Maybe we're just misinterpreting Disney movies. Who knows? It was a Disney movie, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. Pretty sure. But he's dead today, like someone said. Who knows about tomorrow? But I just like to know if all these people are actually going. They're activating their multipass to somewhere, or like Joan Rivers, they're still actually hanging out in Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't believe that one.
I don't know.
I don't believe that.
Voice that's.
I know. And I've looked at some of the video footage, but then someone else has shown other video footage of this guy who she's with, saying, "Yeah, this is his wife," and have shown pictures of him and his wife over the last 13, 15 years or something. And it's the same woman. So I don't know.
Someone's asking what a multipass is, and it's a reference from the movie The Fifth Element.
Yeah. That's just us being silly.
We've been kind of using that joke on and off since 2013.
Yeah. Multipass. Yes.
That's right.
I'm going to have to definitely go back through this list again, because I imagine there's a bunch of other people's that have been added to this list that.
Okay, so here's a thing. For months, we've gone through 2-hour shows like that, and like it feels like 45 minutes or an hour. This one's been an hour and 20 minutes, and I thought, I better check, we're probably nearly up.
Yeah. So did I actually did the exact same thing a few moments ago. We'd be almost at the end of the show, and I'm like, fuck, we still have like 40 minutes left.
I want to see this picture of Moira.
So can someone just go look for it? Just quick. Just shoo off and go find it. Sorry, we've got our interest. Now we just have to see. We don't have patience. Patience is not my virtue.
I'm logged into it right now. I can pull it up. Hold on a second.
If you can just skim through and find a picture that you can freeze frame and share screen for us.
So is it like a drawing of what he saw, or it claims to be a photograph, or what? Drawing, okay.
May I add to that conversation, Lisa and Danny?
Absolutely.
I saw that episode that they're talking about, and apparently the Moira had ill intention, or the intention against Mr. Good was not very, he was obviously shaken by her presence, and she was coming directly for him. So the Blue Severes come in and took him away. And when he asked what happened to her, he got told, don't worry about it, but others will come looking for her. So she got taken somewhere, but others will come looking for her.
Like friends of hers will come looking for her.
That's the impression I got.
Do you know which episode it is? Because I'm looking at all of the last season here, and it says...
Teresa said it was the last show they did.
It was the what?
Teresa said it was the last show. The very last episode.
Okay. All right. Let me see here.
I'll be back in a sec.
I've got it. I'm trying to share it, but I'm not good at this stuff. I've got it in my gallery, and I'm trying to share it. I'm on my phone, but I'm trying to figure out how to get it to you guys. Let me see 1 second. I think.
Is it called Cosmic Religion of Redshift?
Listen, Tom just put up the link. Go to that link, Lisa. He put it up in the chat. You put it, and you can scroll all the way to the bottom. There's the picture. She's just a big, tall with a white outfit on. You have to kind of go all the way down. You'll see some blocks. Tom put the link up.
Hey, you're muted.
I'm talking away over here. No one can hear me because I'm, of course, muted, right? I've got the picture. Hold on. Just give me a second. Hi, Tom. Mad Tom is going to show us the picture.
I was just putting. I think I finally got it, but it wouldn't let me read it because somebody's up there.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so this, get out of the way. Okay, can you guys see that? Can you guys see that?
Yeah, that's it.
There, that is the picture. I don't know if Lisa's there. Lisa, can you see this? Are you here?
Yeah. Okay, can you zoom in also first?
Hold on. This is the face. Hold on. What was it above? Hold on. There.
Okay.
No, it's obviously a drawing. It's not a photograph. It's obviously a CGI.
Yeah, little computer generated.
Yeah.
It's just
Mara.
weird.
So I'm Mara. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to hurt you.
So Mara, not Mara, but close.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that was. Any more pictures? No, nothing else. So that is there. I will try and remember to put that link into the room. Interesting. Interesting. So Mara, not Moira. M-A-R-R-A as opposed to M-O-I-R-A. Is someone unmuted?
I'll just mute all.
Yeah.
The spelling was different because when he said it on the show, it sounded like he said Moira, like with a U.
So it could be just a typo, like someone who didn't know how to spell the Irish name.
I'm not sure, but I know it's not very common. But the way he pronounced it sounded the same as when Lisa. So that's why I was like, what? I just thought, cool, they're coming through. They're just coming to the wrong people.
Okay, and now Corey Good wants to be friends with you on Facebook.
And yeah, and he did just send me a friend request on Facebook. Dun, dun, dun. Strange. Don't raise that eyebrow at me, Lisa. I saw you raise that eyebrow.
Well, okay.
What do you say at that point?
I don't know. Do you believe in coincidences? I don't.
No, I don't. Wait. Is he Sphere Alliance or is he Blue Avian? Or are they the same thing?
Say that again?
Is he Sphere Alliance or is he Blue Avians or are they just the same thing?
Well, I could come in on this a little teeny bit because since 2009, my sister and I were listening to David and all those folks. And before he came into the picture, he was talking about, the entities that built Egypt and everything, and that they were the lion people. Something about the Blue Avians have something to do with the history or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I always keep myself open no matter what, but it is quite interesting, and it follows into, there's a lot of science behind it. I mean, that's why I kind of continued to listen for years, and then when Corey came in, all this stuff that David used to talk about and wrote scientifically about, like the Law of One stuff, he started talking about. And then when the creed came, it all, to me, there's like a connection going on here, and I don't know why. It's just a intuition. That's all. Because I don't get hardcore about anybody. But there's something interesting happening here, I think. That's all I wanted to say about it.
My coffee's ready. Hang on.
Go get your coffee. Had the Moira Marius thing come up? Neither of you knew the others' names before now. No, we did. Moira, we've been talking to Moira on and off since way early November, maybe even the end of October. She's purportedly one of the people who works with Lulu. And Marius thing just came up because that's just brand new. That's just from New Year's Eve.
But it's Moira's voice. So Moira started coming in and talking a lot more. pretty much the time. We hardly heard from Lulu. And it's Moira's voice that I believe has been copied or psyoped or whatever term you want to, co-opted, whatever you want to use, the most. So if if she, if they've got hold of her.
When was this recording done? Or does Corey Good give any indicator of how long ago this incident happened? Anyone?
I'm not sure because, again, I haven't talked a couple of months. But they'll tell you when the recording is on the show, where you go click on it on Diane. It states when it was recorded. I just didn't look.
Okay, so this one was published. This transcript was published on the 21st of December. But that doesn't mean that's when it took place, right? I'm sure you can read through this and it probably gives that information. I don't know.
Jessica wrote October 31 Halloween night from me. Is that in reference to this or is that about something else?
I know they put them up pretty quick. I can tell you that part. They film many and then they put them up pretty quick within like a month's time span.
Yeah, but what I'm saying though, Teresa, is like from the time they filmed, how far before that did the incident take place? That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, is there a time stamp given? Like, does Corey say this happened to me 2 weeks ago, or this happened, in October? So he said October 26th. Is that what he said?
It was very long ago. It wasn't. It was like the last incident or something, I think.
Okay, hold on a second here then.
And Toy's saying neither of you knew the other's names before now. No, the names we've had all along, it was Lulu.
That's what I said.
Just Lulu for weeks. And then we got Jefferson, Moira, Alex. Who else?
Oliver.
And then just on New Year's, we got Mariah's.
Alex.
Yeah, I said Alex. Naya. Is there a Naya?
No.
Someone remember?
But I remember.
Yeah. That might have been in the... Sorry?
Naya was the name. That's interesting because Naya was actually the name given.
Did you just mute yourself accidentally? Or is your Zoom mucking up too?
I think she accidentally got cut off the internet.
Oh, so she wants to say something.
As usual. Donna, you and your internet, please.
There isn't anything she can do about it.
What's the name of the guy in the Matrix that offers him the pills?
Morpheus.
It's kind of close to what she called herself. The male.
Well, you type it in, okay.
So you guys chat for a second. I'm trying to dig something up here. I'm trying to date stamp something at the moment.
I know this isn't fair, Lisa, but I lost contact right when you were talking about what they said the last time they came through. I have to wait to watch you say, or can you recap really fast? Can you do that for me? Blah, blah, blah. I missed it.
Oh, Naya came through on the marathon 18-hour plus call that we did. Okay, so just to recap very briefly, the main message was, we will see you soon. Be aware of what you feel from this point on. We are already here and have our door open. That's what it boiled down to.
This is the 24th.
Thank you very much, Lisa. I appreciate that. I was freaking out in my car like, oh my God, my face. Thank you.
Okay, so the 24th was the date, October 24th was the date of the marathon call. October 24th was the date we had that like 18-hour fucking huge long marathon call. And then the 3rd of November was when we had that really fucked up call with all the pre-recorded messages.
Ah.
Was it November 1st? Hold on. Let me go back and look at my things. Hold on. Let me go back and look.
I don't know. I just find
November
this whole
1st.
connection with Wilcox.
Oh, no, you're right. November 1st was the date of the marathon call. Nope, you're absolutely right. It's like 2.9 gigabytes, just the audio recording.
Did you guys post that? You didn't post that, did you?
No.
No, there's no way. I mean, just trying to get a file, because on my computer it went for 18 plus hours. Just trying to get that into a program to even chop it up. No.
No,
that's good. I was just wondering because it was so impromptu. That's why I feel like there's some kind of weird connection going on here for some reason, and I don't know. I just think it might be worth looking into.
Well, even the main part of it was 7 hours, 8 hours. Like Lisa said, you can't even load that in. Like, if I tried to even put that into my movie editing thing to get it ready for to upload to YouTube, my whole computer would go, I don't fucking think so.
Okay, what I do find interesting, right? Just looking back over the course of events. I mean, not that it gives me any answers, it just gives me more questions, but I go through, and this is just a personal thing for me. This is my journey with it, right? So I go through a personal process that has me feeling like my mojo's back on, right? From that point onwards, every single day there was a series of synchronicities, events, just mind-blowing things, just every single day. And then we do a show, and I say that I believe that CERN is their attempt to recreate this construct. And I give this whole silly analogy about a kid in an oven, right? And then within a couple of days of that, I get contacted via my computer. I'm trying to find you to turn your camera off.
I'm trying. I got it. Got it.
Sort of confirming a lot of the things that we'd speculated on. Then we've got, if there was no validity to it, hang on, no, let's start from the other end. If it was nothing more than a psyop, just out and out. Those who have had first-hand experience with this have also ruled out it's a human hacker. It's a nerd in his mum's basement, or it's a single individual hacker. It's well beyond that. If it's humans with technology, it's a team. It's a very multitasked, multi-talented,
multi-funded,
multi-dimensionally talented team. At the very least, that's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And for, you've got to ask yourself, what purpose? Okay, is it a beta test for, some kind of blue beam psyop? Is it just an attempt to make fools of us and discredit us? A lot of trouble to go to. You've already got Mel V and Hope Moore doing their best.
Yeah, a lot of trouble, and as we keep saying, a lot of fucking money to just discredit us, or even use us as test subjects. Because our following isn't that big. If you were going to test it out, wouldn't you go to Corey Good and David Wilcock? Test it out on their crew? Because obviously they're okay. I'm not going to say it. I will shut up.
Now, at the same time, I'd also said weeks before that, now that we're in this I sort of feels like we're in a new territory, and we may be looking. Remember when you and I were talking about the whole quantum computers and the D-wave computers and stuff, and saying, 12 months ago they were in their embryonic stage, and now suddenly we're in a reality where there's 20 of these things working fully operational around the planet. And do we just jump into a timeline where technology is more advanced and all that?
Yeah.
Could we be looking at a level of technology that we just have no concept of? But again, who goes to the trouble?
Why?
Sorry.
Why? Why would you fucking bother?
Hang on, someone's trying to say something.
It's Teresa, and let me just say first that, I don't do a ton of research anymore, but
I can barely hear you, Teresa.
I can't hear you, Teresa.
I'm gonna put my earplugs on. Hold on, I gotta ask you something real important. Hold on.
Okay. Well, Sam, what do you think?
Can you hear me now?
That's a little bit better.
Try again.
Wait a minute. Oh, shit.
Oh, that was better.
Is better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. The reason, I haven't looked or gone or done any research lately. Sorry to say, I don't really even look at the UU a lot. And I go by my complete gut intuition. And for some reason, I'm just going to try to throw this out here quick. I don't remember her name, but I happened to run across that little video the girl with the purple hair did. I watched the whole thing. And then for some reason after that, I don't know how it got pulled up on YouTube. There was an old video a long time ago of David Wilcock talking about himself and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. There's like 4 parts. I think he's talking to Carrie Cassidy. I probably saw that 7 years ago. I don't know. But he was saying, and the girl in the video was talking about how, and I heard Dolores Cannon talk about this, which I don't even know much about her, about the splitting of the earth, and that we're sitting in the middle part right now. Like certain people, it's almost like I'm just.
That's the Vesica Pisces I was talking about earlier.
I feel like something like this is happening right now. And that might be why all these people are fading away on one side, and then you're getting the connections and the contact from, and he talked about it scientifically, how she talked about it a little more mechanically, the girl with the purple hair, but they were saying the same thing. And I remember Dolores Cannon talking about the splitting of the earth. And that supposedly right now we're like split apart, and there's a small section in the middle that is, where certain people are, okay, they talk about the 51% service to others, our spiritual thing, Lisa, like you were saying, that they were saying, watch how you feel. I've always felt like this is very important. And I think every single person that's in here right now is in that place. Just throwing it out there, this is the new year, and I think something really significant's going on right now. And maybe just keeping our hearts open and our intuition and gut, allowing us to be guided to whatever, jumps at us. I think it's got to be the truth. I mean, something massively major is going on, and they're just, connecting with you concerning this. I mean, to help. And that's not all that different from a lot of other stories. I mean, they come through in different ways with different people, but it's still the same thing in the end. It's so I don't know. Maybe you could just talk on that a little bit, Lisa, what you think, because I'm feeling that very strongly is happening right now.
Okay, well, I'll get to that in a second. I just want to. Okay, what we have said, what I've said, what Dee has said publicly about Lilo and crew has been twisted and contorted and manipulated and whatever, up the wazoo. Now, what we're passing on is what we've been told by these beings that talk to us. and not really making any claims any way, shape or form, because there is no way for us to verify what we're dealing with. The whole point of continuing the dialogue, of continuing the conversation, is to try and find that out. But we may never know. Oh, they'll knock on the door one day. I don't know. But at the moment, it's still inconclusive.
Yep.
But I have to question. I have to wonder if there wasn't any truth to it, if there wasn't anything genuine in it, because it all being a psyop doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. If there wasn't any truth to it in the beginning, then why almost as much of a concerted effort to psyop it and co-opt it,
yep,
as there would be had it originally been a psyop?
Yep.
So that, I mean, it's what actually makes me laugh is that it was the very first show that we did where Lulu came out, and all you saw at that point was my mouse moving around on the computer. My first thought was that everyone's going to assume I'm doing this and I'm trying to trick everyone. That was my concern. But I have not been accused of that once. I actually thought, oh, God, people are just going to think I'm trying to take everyone for a ride. But not once have I been accused of that I've seen. But based on that alone, and to me, if the next obvious conclusion to come to was that my computer had just been hacked. That was the obvious, it's a hack. But based on that alone, people lost their shit and said it's an AI. But even the ones who say it's AI can't agree on the AI. It's benevolent, it's D-Wave, it's whoever, whatever, right? Even they can't agree. Or it's a demon, or based on nothing but a mouse moving around. Really? Anyway.
Lisa, don't,
observer mode. That's all I
don't.
So
Don't even spend your time on that.
Well, in regards to what you were saying before, the thing that's been playing in my mind over the last, and what I've been trying to feel into, because it almost is as if whatever you give attention to actually is amplified, right? Which gives weight to that we are in this really powerful creation phase, in this little space in between the two. This little Vesica Pisces space is a very powerful creative space, because there are times where it feels like, and if I feel into it, it gets stronger, but no matter which way I go, right? So that we're splitting, and that, yes, we're seeing the old world sort of move away, or that we're merging with the original construct. But what's been a part of the New Age movement for a long time now is the whole, let's create the next thing. Let's create the world we want. Let's create what we're going to move into. And as opposed to what's been put forward through what we've been talking about over the last few months, which is this more going back or going home to where we started. And are they two different things? Or are they just our perceptions of the same thing?
Using different words.
Or are they both actually happening? So there is a merge happening back to the original, back to home, as well as a split. And I actually feel like it, at the moment, is all of the above. So instead of, I got my handy little piece of paper. Get my handy notebook. No, handy dandy notebook.
It's got her notebook. Your handy dandy notebook, yes.
So normally when you see a Vesica Pisces thing, right, it's 2 circles like that. But what if we're actually doing 3?
Yeah.
So what if
Oh.
this is us,
Oh my mind.
the original, or where we've been, the reality that we've been in. And it could actually be more than that. Oh, it could even be more like your flower of life thing going on.
Yeah, don't even start. I knew you were going to go there. Stop it.
So, and here is, I'm trying to do this backwards, home, the original construct, right? So there are some of us who are in this space because we're going this way. There is
That's exactly
a new reality, which will be for those who still need to, I don't know, go through the whatever. Now, it would be a new reality in the sense of it won't be as bad as this one. It won't be as co-opted and controlled and fucked up. And those people are in here right now on their way to here. And then, my pen doesn't work.
Just stop. You just put the pad on your lap and try again because your pen's not working anymore.
Doesn't want to do it upside down. Okay. And we could even use yellow rose for Texas kind of analogy. I'll just call it the pit. But, so what if it's actually doing this? And that actually goes like that.
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm moving into. Because it's it doesn't matter which one you feel into. They all feel as real as the other. And some people are only seeing a merge. Some people are only seeing a split. Some people are in a serious amount of fear. And they're all real. Okay. So, does that make sense? And there's probably, hang on, another one up here, which is all the helpers that came in, the waves of helpers from elsewhere. They're going back there. And so all of these are pit stops. All of these are step 1 back to wherever. Okay, I'm done.
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa, it's Earl.
Hi,
I
Earl.
think you're on to something, and I think you're right. But it also makes me think about all this landmass shifting and changing that's like happening in real time. I think that could also be due to that we're in the middle of the shift and everything is just in this quantum flux where people are dying, then they're coming back, and they're dying again for some stupid odd reason. And
I think I want to go to this reality. Oh, no. Maybe I'll go on to, no.
But here's another thing. Like last night, I come home back from watching the Star Wars movie, and I didn't hear about this Venus, Moon, Mars thing before the New Year. All of a sudden, I get back, turn around, and I see this. Like the moon and Venus. Like, excuse me, I'm in the city, okay? You usually don't see this stuff when you're in the city, right? I mean, you got all the lights in the city, and it's weird. So I go on YouTube to, find videos so I can post it to the Unfuckers room that, and I talked to Dee about me and trying to, do research. I'm not good at that. I always feel like someone's pointing a gun at my head when I'm trying to do research. And I'm watching the video, and they zoom in on Venus, but it doesn't look like it's a planet like when you zoom in. It looks like some weird diamond thing that's like, what? Wait a minute.
What is that? Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense because you look at the moon and it's like, well, the moon's round. Well, anything like you zoom in, like even when you go out of focus and you get that bokeh effect, like when you have lights or anything, it's gonna look round, right? So you would think if you zoom in enough on video or what your subject is, it's gonna look the same, when you zoom in. Nope. And someone else posted a video where the person who zoomed in on that, the whole thing of Venus was like shimmering, like, okay, that should not be happening. Okay, now I'm sounding like I think I've listened and talked too much to D, so now I got this weird D complex in my brain.
And you start saying, I have questions.
I have questions.
I do that. I'm like, in my mind, I have questions.
Well, the whole funny thing about the moon last night, there was a conversation in Unfuckers yesterday where they were saying, did anyone notice that the moon, and so last night, so therefore January 1st, saying the moon was like a peachy, yellowy, peachy color, right? And I'm like, okay, first of all, last night, I didn't even see a moon. The night before last, New Year's Eve, the moon was so thin, a little teeny, I mean, it was we call it like the toenail moon. Do you know when it's literally just that little thin?
Yep.
Okay, and then someone posted a picture yesterday of supposedly the same moon over North America, and it was like, looked like it was a quarter full. And I'm like, okay, wait a second. That can't be possible. That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Maybe we all need to start posting pictures.
Okay.
This was taken at 9 o'clock over New York. This was taken at 10 o'clock over Los Angeles.
There's another thing. My dad brought this up because he was talking about it to me as I was getting in the house. And he's like, well, he said, like, this is supposed to go on until March. Then it got into my brain, oh crap, could this be what Lisa's been talking about not being able to go past March? So I'm like, okay, am I getting neurotic or...
Well, that's the other thing. There's a lot of people who cannot see past March, and for people who it's normal to be able to feel into or see into the future. And
I can't see past today, so...
Yeah, exactly. No, because I was wondering, what is Cliff High reading? I mean, he's got stuff that he says he reads out 50, 60 years into the future. So what is he looking at, really? And this gives me an answer for that, right? He's
If you need another timeline completely, or another dimensional...
He's in Earth 2.0, because Earth 2.0, from what he's describing, is better than this one. I mean, he's talking about a really rough transition, but like Jeff mentioned earlier, he seems optimistic and quite positive about what's down the timeline. And that's not what you would see if you were to look at just the here and now, what the hell's going on in the world, as being where things are going to be in 5-10 years. I mean, they're talking about microchipping everybody in the US now, making it mandatory, apparently.
That's been talked about for years now. Come on.
Didn't they just pass something to actually make it legislation?
I've never seen any proof of that.
Oh, okay.
So, and we're at 1 minute to the hour.
Lemon. Frankly, I can't see past the end of the show.
No, like this morning, like for me, like an hour felt like a half hour. Like I would take my 7 o'clock pill, then my 8 o'clock pill, and I'm like, what the crap? Didn't I just take one pill? Now I'm taking another. It's like, okay.
Sorry, there's a couple of people questioning what?
Emily, I'm going to go off.
Thanks
We'll
so
talk
much.
to you later, Earl. Thanks. Oh, I have to tell everyone my little giggle story, because last week I was talking about the star Sirius and it doing the disco, like, you know, Las Vegas disco strobe light bit going on. So something had come up. I can't remember. Someone said something in the chat room about the Truman Show, about a completely different subject. And then in the chat, in Unfuckers or something, like someone, again, Truman Show got brought up. And I was like, yeah, I've never seen the Truman Show. And they were like, oh, what do you mean you've never seen the Truman Show? So anyways, I was going through one of my hard drives and I was transferring movies from one drive to the other. I was like, oh, the Truman Show's on there. I'll transfer that over. We'll have to watch that. So long and short of it is, didn't get to see the movie because of various disruptions everywhere, but watched the opening fucking scene where the light falls from the ceiling and crashes into his driveway in front of him. And it's serious. I fucking pissed my pants. I laughed so hard, it was like, okay, that's just too fucking funny.
You do have to watch the whole movie,
The
though.
Falling Star.
It's all through it.
I do. I absolutely will. It's just been an insane fucking week, and I haven't had a chance to sit down. Maybe I'll go, like, you know, put myself in my bedroom on a timeout tomorrow. And just
Okay, I've got to clarify something with Jeff, though. Jeff, are you saying that Cliff High has, like, officially announced that the global coastal event he's been predicting for years is no more? Or is he just gone quiet on it?
No, remember 2013, he was broadcasting from his house, all in a panic. I'll never talk on the internet again, and then it didn't happen.
And he didn't.
So
he addressed it?
And yes, he addressed it, you know, having to continue his business. I can't remember how he excused himself on the interpretation, but he has been completely wrong on timelines.
And if we've got timelines that are crossing and crashing and collapsing and or falling or whatever you want to call it, then that makes sense. I'm sorry, like that makes perfect sense. That people, if they're on this timeline and they look 3 years into the ahead, they see such and such happening, but all of a sudden, bloop, we drop through a layer or crossover or whatever, you know.
And it's his interpretation, because there's 3 layers to his report. There's what the psychic leaks of the collective consciousness is, what the AI programming is doing to the population of Earth, and I forgot the other layer. So you kind of have to be adept at how you read the report. Right. What was the other one?
I just heard that from somewhere else too, that the collective consciousness is also shifting and changing and breathing in a way that is changing the timelines, because some people are going the right direction, then they pull back and forth, and that changes. We are collectively doing all this, and I believe that.
I agree.
Yep. So that's when we look at 2017 and our intent, you know, maybe that's a collective imagination thing, but geez, we sure seem, people are paying attention to, you know, you and you two. And so it's great to collect information, but where do we actually want to throw our energy as a experiment? A big one.
I've got a question for you, though, just in terms of what he does pick up. Did he pick up the term Mandela effect, or did he pick up the flat earth movement before they really hit?
Interesting.
Because they were 2 of the biggest things that went around the internet, or still are, in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I can't remember the Mandela, but I do remember the flat earth, because he addressed it before it hit mainstream, in that he had done all the calculations himself as part of a project for Microsoft, and he proved to himself that it was not round, but sphere
Not an
close to.
spheroid.
It's a pear shape. Was it pear shaped?
Something like that. So, by indirect talking about that, he knew the flat Earth stuff was coming.
But not so much the Mandela effect that you can recall anyway.
But again, I mean, that could be one of those things where it's literally a shift in the timeline, and that's what created the Mandela effect. And if he couldn't see through that shift in the timeline, he wouldn't catch it because it wouldn't have happened, right?
But there's so many
Mandela
times
is happening on the timeline where everything's coming to, as opposed to the one he was reading.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I do think that whatever is happening.
Yeah, and the whole time.
No, go, Jeff.
And I remember him talking about how he had a cut on his arm, and he noticed the next day it was fully healed, and he talked to the other WebBot competitors around the planet, and they all noticed a time shift that they could not explain.
I remember that.
I do remember that too.
So then he started becoming more open to timelines. So, and the ability to time travel.
And now we have a whole year of shows about time travel and timelines.
Yes.
Time is more malleable right now than ever before. Which, again, if time is the controlling mechanism of the construct, then it stands to reason in my mind that either those who have been controlling the time aspect have lost control of it, or it's just that the construct is collapsing and the time is kind of doing this as it folds out. But it's going from, like, this last 2 hours is a perfect example. For me, the first hour and 20 minutes felt like 2.5, and the last 40 minutes felt like 10. So it's doing this. It's sort of expanding and contracting throughout the day.
I have a question that I want to put to everyone.
Okay.
Sorry, you all cut out. I thought you weren't talking anymore. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I have a question I want to quickly ask because, we're already 8 minutes over the hour, so I might as well throw a new curveball. Has anyone noticed shifts that have to do with sleeping? Regardless of whether it's at night or even if you just lay down for a nap for like 15 minutes and you wake up and bloop, there's been a shift that's happened.
Well, this is an extension of what I was just saying and going back to what we were talking about before. So it felt like it was happening in days. So there'd be a day that would dragged out and then another day that disappeared. And then we were talking about these 3 to 4 day cycles, where it's like I'm up, I'm awake, I'm clear, and I've got plenty of energy for about 3 or 4 days, and then 3 or 4 days, all I want to do is nap, I can't wake up, all of that. But now it seems to be condensed into, it's all happening and fluctuating within a 24-hour period. So the time is expanding and then contracting, and then you've got your energy, or you have it, like you say, a 15-hour nap, and you feel like you just slept for days, or you have 8 hours sleep and you feel like 5 minutes.
Yep.
And it's all happening within.
Okay.
We're getting close to the 0 point is what I'm trying to get to. There, I got it out.
Yeah, I just heard that today about the crossing over, like you were just showing Lisa on your pad, how all these different, because time is toroidal, I can't say it right. And when the nodes are crossing on the earth as it's splitting, the time is looping, and like it's a scientific thing, like as the splitting happens and it's crossing over those, what do y'all call them? The graph or whatever that's on the earth. the nodes is making the time toroidal, so it's like looping and changing like that. I mean, I was just listening to that today with the stuff I was telling you about that was like blowing my mind about what's happening here, because you're explaining it. That's what he was saying about it.
Well, this is the whole thing that I noticed, and especially in this last week. It's like Lisa said, we first of all talked about, it was kind of like, it was like 4-day periods that when you'd get a shift, and then it was like 3 days and sometimes 2. In the last week, I've noticed that, like I said, there's some days where I desperately want a nap, you know, when you're like, I'm so tired, I just need to lay down, and you just can't because you're just too busy. In the moments when I've laid down this week, because like I said, I've been sick all week, and it's been like almost like a cycle of viruses just going through my body. The times when I went and laid down and had a nap, a shift would happen, and I would wake up feeling different from when I went to sleep, even if that nap was 15 minutes long, which I usually only cat nap. The most I sleep is like 45 minutes, maybe an hour tops. Even if I took a 15-minute cat nap, I would wake up and feel different. As in, even my sickness symptoms, like my cold symptoms, my flu symptoms, all of a sudden got better. And then I'd get up and you'd go through, and then it was like I'd sleep that night and I'd wake up the next day and I had, like, for example, I was sick again, but a completely different sick. Like it was all in my throat this time. And I would take a nap in the afternoon and it would just disappear. Or it would like radically jump. It's like you talked about the cut on the arm healing. It was as if I'd lay down and I would be so congested with sore throat and the whole thing. I'd wake up 15 minutes later, the congestion would be relatively gone, and it was like I jumped a couple of days and now I was that much better. And even in the energies of the house, people going to sleep and then waking up, and the shifts in people watching that, interesting. And I sat there today, and I did it again when I laid down and had just a little cat nap today. And I woke up feeling completely different. And I was like, is it something to do with sleeping? That's why we get the overwhelming urge sometimes to lay down and just shut our eyes, because that allows us to shift or to jump. I don't know.
Hi, it's Earl again. Okay, thing with me, I've been getting up at 4:44 in the morning for the past week. It's like, what the crap? Like,
So did I.
I can't be that regular. Like, come on, that's impossible. Like, my body is like, oh, it's 4:44. Get up. It's weird, man. It used to be like 3 in the morning. Sometimes it would be like 5, something like 5. Yeah, I can do 5 because I have to get up at 5:30 anyway. So yeah, but 4:44. It's like that's just weird to me. Anyway, I'm getting off again.
What Dee just said goes back to what Marius said that Lily was doing. She was asleep while she was dreaming to create. Is that what?
And every time I've zapped out, like I've said to you, my last couple of weeks when I sleep, it's like I zap out, and it's just like gone. And then you come, and same thing, waking up is just coming back, bing, and having no idea how much time has gone by. Today, like I said, 15, 20 minutes. I could have sworn I'd been gone for 5 hours because that's how well rested I felt. And yet I'd been only out for like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
We're now at 1:15, and I really do have to go to sleep now.
Okay.
Still calling my name.
Thank you, guys.
Another awesome conversation. As usual.
As usual.
As
Thanks for
usual.
all your input. Thanks to Jeff and filling us in. Thanks to Dawn for little sneak peek. Thanks to Teresa. So thank everybody. I will see LMH members tomorrow for Collective Imagination, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.
Next
and
week.
Keep notes of what's going on.
Bye, everyone.
Get a dream journal. Do something.
Take notes.
Take notes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Bye.
Definitely. Bye, guys.